Thank you. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here.
Commissioner Boyd?
Here. I will note that we're being live streamed right now. It's being broadcast out to our YouTube channel for public consumption. We're also being recorded internally for our purposes in compiling the minutes. For that, if anyone has any business to be brought before the board, we'd ask that you come up here, sit down and speak into that microphone just so we can pick it up. On that note, row officer reports and comments. I'm looking at the audience today. I'm seeing one row officer with us today, our controller, Mr. Prestonfine. Dave, do you have anything to report above and beyond what's already on the agenda? Great. Public comments. Do we have any member of the public here wish to make comment? Awesome. Fiscal and contractual. Repository properties. We have one property here with us today. Resolution possible approval for repository property 120389000 located in Elwood City. I will note that both, that's rare, both the municipal governing body, borough council down there, and the school district have signed off on the request. The bid amount is for $526.76 by John DeBono. And its property is located on 3rd Street. Questions, comments on the repository property? Nope. Vanessa, what's the number?
289.
289. I will take a motion to approve 289.
So moved.
Second. Motion second for discussion, hearing none, question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We have no advertising for bids and proposals. We do have 4 receipts of bids and proposals, all relating to our correctional facility across the street. We have a warden with us today, as well as our controller, to open those numerous bids. One is for the chiller replacement project. One is for the security electronic system upgrade project, cameras. One is for the roof fan replacement project, and one is for a ductwork cleaning project. Controller Prestonfine, would you be able to come up and open the bids in that order? So first we have the chiller.
There are 2 bids for the chiller project.
We're doing the advertisement. We don't want to see the advertisement.
First one is from, if I'm pronouncing this right, Heranic Corporation. And the base bid is $475,000.
David, does it say where they're located?
Uniontown, Pennsylvania.
Thank you.
Next one looks like it's from Heranic Brothers. Brothers, they are located in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. Proposal was $249,940.
Say that again.
$249,940.
First one with 4 in front of it gave me a little bit of a heart attack. Yeah, that was, you were getting a chiller.
You're gonna chill
Yeah.
out.
What's the next one on the list now?
Next one is security electronic system upgrade project.
Security, now we have one.
Yeah, we would have to tap into mental health for it. Get out that health choice and checkbook spot.
This one is from Stanley Security. Looks like it's in Fishers, Indiana. Total bid is $521,370.
And this is being paid out of our increased revenues for housing inmates from other counties.
Yes, Commissioner.
So that's less of a hard thing. Still,
What's next now?
little beat, but roof fan replacement.
Roof replacement, I have 3. First one is from Central Heating and Plumbing in Newcastle. Total installed price is, as it's written on here, $122,783. Say which one. This is from the Haranek Corporation in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. The base bid is $99,500. The last one looks like it's from Rennick Brothers. Their bid is $84,980.
And ductwork cleaning.
One for the ductwork cleaning. This is also from the Haranek Corporation of Uniontown. The base bid is $88,000.
Okay, questions, comments on any of those four bids? All right, what we'll do is we'll table these, refer to the appropriate administrative officials. In this case, the solicitor, the controller, and the warden, if anybody else I'm forgetting, and circle back around most likely next week to officially award the bids. Or maybe 2 weeks from now. Heck, within the next 2 weeks, we'll figure out who's getting what. On that, then I'll take a motion to table and refer to the appropriate administrative officials.
So moved.
Second. Motion second, any further discussion, hearing none, question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Warden, sounds like you're under 500,000 total, so thank God. Thanks, Dave.
No problem.
Thank you.
David. All right, we have warrant registers for September 16th to September 13th. Give my colleagues a minute to check those over and take a motion to accept and file the warrant registers.
As I'm going through these, and I don't know if it may be just mine, but my first page dated September 16th is actually duplicated. I have
Yes.
two. I
Mhm.
don't know if that was the case with you
Yes.
folks.
You guys want to see the original? Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. I just better to have two than not have
This
any.
is true. So moved.
Second.
Motion second, any further discussion, hearing none, question on the motion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Up next, we have, I'm marking my agenda.
Okay,
Minutes.
good.
Yep. Minutes from Tuesday, September 13th, 2022, and again, I'll give my colleagues a minute to check those over. Take a motion to approve the minutes or make any changes as necessary next week.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, any further discussion, hearing none, question on the motion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carries. We have one written communication today. It's from EPK Consulting LLC, Environmental and Engineering Consultants. Application is a Love's Traffic Stop and Country Sales located at 1011 Newcastle Road in Plain Grove Township. They're applying for an Act 14 permit for discharge of stormwater at the Slippery Rock Creek. This is again the Love's in
Mhm.
right across from Butler, well, actually, mostly in Butler County, but it's across from 79. Questions, comments on this one? Hearing none, I'll take a motion to accept and file correspondence.
So moved.
Second. Motion second, further discussion, hearing none. Question on the motion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Staff reports, we have a member of staff here, has anything to report above and beyond what's already on the agenda? Seeing none, commissioner reports and comments, Loretta, you're on deck.
I have nothing, thank you.
All right, I just have one thing, Route 208. My understanding is it's still held up. PennDOT's not releasing the funds, at least as of this morning. And to that end, I've been talking to the Wilmington Township supervisors, and that road is just atrocious. And it's getting to a point where if it does not get done with relatively expeditiously, they're not gonna be able to do it this year. Time's run out.
Yes.
And if they're not able to get it done before winter hits, there are gonna be accidents on that road. And there might be, at the end of the day, fatalities on that road if nothing is done to pave it. It's one of the worst kept roads in District 11. To that end, I'd like to get a formal letter sent out to PennDOT. I'd like the commission, I'll draft it. I'd like the commissioners to sign it. I'd like to go to Wilmington Township, have them sign it. I'd like to go to Pulaski Township and have them sign it. Basically stating, we have significant concerns with the main thoroughfare in the northern part of our county, whereby if this road is not paved and not taken care of, like all the municipalities take care of their roads, like we take care of our bridges, if this road is not maintained to an adequate standard, there will be accidents on it come snowfall, and it will be PennDOT's fault. So I'd like to put that in a letter, have you guys check over it. And once everybody here is good with it, I'd like it circulated amongst those two townships, get it sent off, just because I want our concerns on record. At this point, this is ridiculous. We can't get this done. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Is there any information that has been passed along as to why the funds are being held up?
They're there. They're sitting
Right, I know we
there.
had this discussion before.
No, I have no clue.
And
Dan,
not
anything?
not to split hairs, but let me make certain, are you referencing, let me go back a step. PennDOT indicated that this year they were going to do work from 208 where it intersects State Route 18 in Wilmington Township
Mhm.
in an easterly direction into the borough of New Wilmington. And I was on that road over the weekend. All I saw were some red cones, and you indicated they were doing some work for drainage.
Yes.
Okay. Are you referencing that section and the section that takes you to the village of Pulaski?
Yes.
The whole stretch?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep.
I just want to make certain.
And
So with that being said, should we include the borough of New Wilmington?
we probably should.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And my understanding too is the situation from a monitoring perspective may have evolved. And I need to get confirmation on this from PennDOT, but there may now be funds available to get that entire stretch done this year.
Okay.
Just because again, it is quite possibly the worst maintained state road in PennDOT District 11. And it is absolutely absurd. Originally it was gonna be in June, now it's
We
July.
talked about it for
No.
quite some time.
It's absolutely absurd that can't get
Yes.
paved. Absolutely absurd. So I'll draft that later today, get you guys to put your eyes on it. Once everybody up here is good with it, we'll start, Wilmington Township's already agreed, they're signing off on it. They're here. I mean, Dan Kenny, I had to tell Dan Kenny, he's not allowed to talk to Sherman Series. But
Right.
it's time to take some official action on that.
I'd offer this suggestion as well, that when we do send it, that we copy Senator Vogel, since as we speak today, he's still the state senator,
In Park.
and Park Wentling, but if we're going into Pulaski
So,
Township, Representative
Right,
Sonoma,
good idea.
copy them as
Yes.
well.
Yes.
No, it's time to see if we can't get some more on that. And if not, PennDOT needs to put on notice that if something happens.
Well, when we're covering ourselves as well, that we're aware of it.
Yeah. On notice.
We need to take precautions, sure.
That's all I have. Dan, you're on.
Thank you very much. Two things. I want to note the recent passing of former Newcastle City Treasurer Joe Cardella, our sympathy to Mr. Cardella's family. And then interesting that you mentioned State Route 208. I think I told you, but I don't think I told Loretta. About a week ago, I did send an email to Cheryl Moon Sirianni at PennDOT asking when they plan to start the resurfacing of State Route 65, East Washington Street, here in the city and Shenango Township, along with the section of State Route 108, which is South Croton Avenue, down by the City Rescue Mission,
Right.
down along where it crosses Business 422. Now, I do notice they are doing some, looks like utility work
Yes.
on the section of 108. But, and again, you're absolutely right. The clock is ticking. It's September 20, and they've maybe got about a month or 6 weeks of a
Right.
window.
That's about it.
Because 6 weeks from now, late October, early November, the snow may be flying. Anyhow, I did ask her for an update on the status, and she indicated that she would get back to me. I've not yet heard back. So,
On 108, I do recall an article in the Newcastle News, I believe a small article to say that road work would be beginning.
okay,
So
well, that's good.
let's hope with utilities being done, that's next on the list.
Let's hope. That's all I have.
Thank you. On that note, we'll move on to the new resolutions portion here. We have our MHD Mental Health Director, Scott Baldwin, with us today. Scott, would you approach the bench? We've got mercifully only two
Nice and easy.
two resolutions today. This will be, what are we starting on, Vanessa?
290.
290, 290 and 291. Scott, what's going on?
These are, good morning, Commissioner. These are two new contracts. They are both for personal care homes located in Lawrence County. The first one, are we doing Rose Estates?
Yeah,
Rose
first. Yeah.
Rose Estates located in Newcastle. This is a contract between MHDS and Rose Estates. The contract will run from July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. The contract will not exceed $25,000 and it's paid out of block grant funding. And these are for residents that can't live independently, so we can support the services. The second one, again, it's another personal care home located in Elwood City. This is with Northview Estates. The contract will run from July 1st, 2022 to June 30th, 2023. And the contract will not exceed $7,000 paid out of block grant.
So in other words, this isn't costing the county general fund anything.
Not at all.
Questions, comments for Director Baldwin?
Just a clarification question. The second resolution notes the, which I'm assuming is the corporate address of Northview Estates Limited Partnership as 106 East North Street, Newcastle.
Yeah,
You indicated the facility. I believe that's the old Elwood, the old Elwood Hospital down in the borough of Elwood City. Would that be right? Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chairman Boyd.
Absolutely. I will take a motion to approve 290 and 291.
So moved.
Second,
The motion is second for discussion. Hearing none, question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Up next, we have, thanks, Scott.
See you tonight, Mr. Baldwin.
yes, sir.
I might be on a Zoom screen.
Oh, okay.
I'll see you then.
Very good. Thank you.
Next, we have 292. This is very simply complying with recent legislation passed, noted Act 57. And what it effectively does is it requires the taxing district to impose taxes on the assessed value of real property to adopt a resolution or ordinance within 90 days of the effective date and/or not later than January 9, 2023, directing the tax collector to waive additional charges for real estate taxes in certain situations being transferred to residential property midway through the year. If they report it to us, they're only required to pay taxes at face versus at penalty if it's later in the year. I know Rich has been calling Jason nonstop about this, and we gotta get this done to, so Jason doesn't have to continue to take calls. But I'll take a motion, unless anybody has any questions or comments, I'll take a motion to approve 292. We're required to do this under law.
Right. So moved.
Second, and correct me if I'm wrong, as are each of the municipalities who have their own elected tax.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
All right, we have a motion secondly for discussion, hearing none. Question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes,
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 293, we have planning. This is for maintenance of parks and boat launches. Becky, what do we have going on?
This is just, good morning, by the way. This is a request for bids. We're gonna bid out all the grass cutting for our 5 boat launches, the parks, and the Stabbage Bike Trail. So we've just been running into something that's exceeding our threshold kind of thing. So we feel that it's time to do that. So, and I believe they're due October 24th. Day 4 for them.
Be interested to see what the total is here. Average employee cost for Lawrence County, when you look at total employee burden, is about $72,000 a year. And so to that end, if it exceeds $72,000 a year, it might make sense to onboard another maintenance employee to take care of some of this stuff. The expectation being this is not a 40-hour-a-week thing.
Well, yes, exactly.
That then
Right,
adds some
yes.
capacity.
Yes.
So that's not, I'll just be interested to see what the prices come back as. Any other questions, comments?
Is this applicable to the calendar year 2023?
Yes, 2023. So we thought we'd get them in, have you guys
And
take a
enough
look.
time to.
Yeah,
Right.
in order to award at the beginning of
award,
the year.
right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Alright. Any other questions?
Take a motion to approve 293.
So moved.
Second, a motion second, any further discussion, hearing none, question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we have 294. This relates to Flores Equity Group and the ongoing purchase of the old Elwood City Hospital facility. We're just extending our agreement, whereas the payment to be made by Pillars, the County Lawrence, sum of $170,547.83 to be paid to the county on or before October 31st. We're just extending that deadline a little bit. I think the original one was it's coming up. Yeah,
Yes.
there's still some I's to be dotted and some T's to be crossed, and so.
Morgan, Jason said it was actually due August 31st, and since we didn't.
Oh, there you go.
It's being extended.
There we go.
Okay.
So on that note, I will take a motion to approve 294 unless there's any
So
questions.
moved.
Second, we have a motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 295. This is relating to an election lawsuit that every board of elections in Pennsylvania was just served with. It's the Republican National Committee et al. V. Lee Chapman, et al. Lee Chapman being the Secretary of State of Commonwealth, the acting Secretary of State of Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Again, all 67 counties, including Lawrence County, have been named as defendants. This relates, I believe this relates to curing of ballots.
Yes.
And so they want a declaratory judgment as to whether or not counties have the authority to cure defective mail-in ballots before such time as those ballots may be counted. So we hired these guys to deal with some of the previous election lawsuits
Yes.
that we faced in 2020. They did a great job, and the cost, I'll note, is split up between the counties which onboard this group, which keeps our costs way down. And ultimately, it's a very efficient way to handle, what now is a barrage of lawsuits as it relates to the administration of elections. Questions, comments on hiring Bath County? All right, I will take a motion to approve 295.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. This next one, 296, I'd like to table this for the time being. I thought I was gonna have some time yesterday to pull together a program doc for you guys. I just didn't have the time yesterday. I was running around pretty, like crazy yesterday. But we'll pull together a program doc, get this before the board, next week. But it's looking like we're going to have about $750,000 that we'll be able to distribute in fiscal year 2023 for municipal road and bridge projects. That'll come from a combination of both liquid fuels and our vehicle registration fee. So, but again, I'd like to table that, get program docs pulled together, start back next week. Let's take a objection to that.
Fine with me.
Cool. I'll take a motion to table 296.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, 297. This is just a budget amendment for the DA's office. All we're doing here is there was some more revenue as it relates to the co-responder program. So we're increasing the co-responder revenue account by $12,615 and increasing the materials and supplies expense account out of that program by the same. Questions, comments? Take a motion to approve 297.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Up next, we have some more transfers of funds. First up, out of liquid fuels, those will be 298. Transferring from liquid fuels contingency, $12,128 to liquid fuels major equipment, ATV. We're purchasing an ATV for help with some snow plowing in some other areas. And this is going to be coming out of our liquid fuels account. Questions on that?
Just to make clear, because it does say here, as you just noted, purchase of ATV for snow plowing and salt spreading. So I want to make it clear, as we said countless times, we don't own any roads,
Right.
period. The county owns no roads. This plowing and spreading would be for our parking lots and sidewalks on property that we do own. So just want to make that.
Well, and bridges. And just say and bridges, Dan.
Well,
Liquid fuels.
Yeah, that's true. If we need to go out and salt a bridge, we can salt a bridge. Yep. Good point.
Yep, liquid fuels, it's bridges.
Yes.
290, so I'll take, we do motion in a second yet?
Not yet.
Take a motion?
So moved.
Second. Motion in a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 299, we're moving some money from liquid fuels contingency to fuel. It's anybody's guess as to why we might need more money for fuel this year.
Yeah.
If there's any questions, comments, I'll take a motion on 299.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, is there any further discussion? Hearing none, question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 300, moving some money from Commissioner's contingency to maintenance and repair and refuse for our dumpsters for Russo's office. Again, we're with the move there, we're still kind of getting all the finances sorted out. I will note I'm having Joe look into our dumpster contracts. My understanding, we might be able to get some better pricing from some other companies, so we're checking and seeing, if we might be able to save some cash there. I'll take a motion on 300.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion, Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. 301, this relates to the action we took at salary board earlier today, giving the DA's office a little bit of that bump that they're going to need to onboard that height of commander position to allow for coordination of our narcotics office out of the DA's umbrella. So I'll take a motion on 301.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We have 10,000 here from our contingency to COVID-19 maintenance. This relates to some of the spraying that we do whenever our office has a confirmed positive, and we immediately go in there and spray the place down. Need a little bit more money in there to get through the end of the year. Questions on that?
No.
Take motion to approve 302.
So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. Vanessa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Steelvogel?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Commissioner Boyd?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. So administrative transfers, we have $325 moving from jurors and courts to travel and training. I guess they're going to a couple seminars, a couple areas away from the county complex that needs some money for travel and training. Commissioners, we're moving $612 from general admin and materials and supplies. That's more an accounting thing than anything, just moving money from the one account to another account because the controller's office requires that we use the one account instead of the other account to pay for a purchase. This is,
Judge Cartwright.
there we go. When Jerry sends something up, we just approve it because Jerry asks for nothing. Jerry asks for nothing. That's, we'll
They're
do,
so well maintained.
we'll do it. He is the least
Yes.
maintenance magisterial that we have.
Such a huge amount though.
Oh,
I
60,
know, you might have to start questioning that. Too many zeros.
too many zeros. What the hell, Jerry?
$60.
All right,
That's it for the rest of the year.
That's what he asked. That's all we can do for him. I'll take a motion to approve administrative transfers 836.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Question on the motion. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. The motion carries. No ordinances on the table for introduction with final action. There will not be a commissioners meeting on Tuesday. September 27th, 2022, we have been ordered to be in court as it relates to the Elwood City Hospital. So that'll be an interesting one. I have to say, it's not every day that the three of us together
Yes,
are ordered to appear in court. It's the 10 o'clock time is inconvenient, but it is what it is.
And there are others, we're not the only three.
correct.
Then we have commissioners meeting. Next one will be October 4th, 2022, and the prison board meeting has been canceled. Anything else I'm
Other
forgetting?
business.
I think that's it.
Great.
That's it.
Any additional public comments?
Can you elaborate on why and where and when they're gonna be in court?
We're gonna be at this time next week in court as it relates to the Elwood City Medical Facility. I don't know exactly why.
Or like federal or?
Actors Court.
Our courtrooms.
Judge Acker,
Please.
in his capacity as clerk or judge of the Orphans Court, Attorney Medor has the specific information, but you may recall that when the Elwood City Hospital at the time was a community hospital, nonprofit, community-based hospital, and they were then sold to a private for-profit corporation. The law required that the transaction receive the approval of the judge of the Orphans Court, which in this case is Judge Acker, was and is Judge Acker. And of course, a number of things have transpired since that transaction. And if I'm not mistaken, the judge is calling everyone in. There's some folks from the borough of Elwood City as well, to discuss the status of this matter. But I can tell you that Attorney Medor does have the document that the court did send out, calling on, as Commissioner Boyd noted, calling on the three of us to be present, as well as a number of other officials. So if you want to check with Jason, I'm sure he can share that with you. And it's interesting, when the judge approved this transaction, he formed a community advisory committee. And at the time, but then my two colleagues were not holding office at the time. This predates them. I was named to that committee. The committee met a couple of times, but it was an advisory board. It really had no authority. And I did hold on to the minutes of those meetings, and I did give them to Attorney Medor so that he could review them. But even though, again, Commissioner Boyd and Commissioner Spillvogel were not part of this originally, all three of our names are on the document to show up next week.
You know what the purpose is of the hearing?
I believe it's just a status update. Now, that's an assumption on my part, but I think if you check with Attorney Medor, he can show you the court document that compels us to be there. I should say requests us to be there. We were not subpoenaed. It was just a court document asking for our presence.
All right. Any additional public comment? We will adjourn once again, Board of Commissioners.
Thank you.